gol, Hatira, Ronaldo! Yeah, Ronaldo! And he's fed Mbappe! Headline hat-trick! He strikes the stage like the world star he is!
Schleck, Sieber, Reus in die Mitte, wir machen rein, Tor! Yes, people, welcome back to another UCL review. We had another bonkers of a week. Shakhtar beat Barcelona. We saw FC Copenhagen beat Manchester United. And we saw Atletico drop a 6-piece. We saw all sorts of stuff. We saw the group of death get even wilder. People, remember to hit the like button on your way in. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And of course, get your thoughts in the comments down below. Shavana's Festa, RB Leipzig, Man City just going to win this Champions League. You guys let me know in the comments down below. But we actually have a guest this time around. I was a guest on his channel. And I thought to myself, perfect guest. I did not invite him after last night, what happened to his team. I invited him, I think it was like Sunday or Saturday. But he is in a depression right now. His teams are not doing well. You want to say the Giants, the New York Giants? Olympiacos getting smacked. And then you got Man United. We got Michael Griggs. This is the Michael show, people, today. Michael Griggs, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, bro. You know what? I am depressed in all sports. The Knicks are my only ray of hope right these days.
Hey, that ain't a hope, though, bro. They're the Tottenham of the NBA.
Yeah, it's true. But also, I want to say sick intro, by the way. The
UCL,
all the UCL is really good. I didn't see Man United on there, though. I'm a little.
Did I not have you?
I feel like I didn't see it. I might have missed in the beginning, but
I think I have United there. If I don't, I'll have to add it next time, or I'll just keep them away. Because right now, United should not be anywhere near a Champions League. That's for sure.
Hey, man. You know, you're not wrong, but still. I gotta hold on to that pass a little bit, but
you have to. That's what Liverpool fans did for many years.
Yeah. I've become what I hated most.
Yes, of course. Big up to Andy. Big up to Sebastian. Big up to Tapiwa. Big up to AD. Big up to MM. Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about him. We are going to talk about him. Big up to Michael. We got 3 Michaels in the house. Big up to Matt. And big up to Alexander. Oh, man. Griggs is in hostile territory right now. He's in hostile territory. But everybody, as we always do with the UCL review, we go from Tuesday to Wednesday. So if you guys want to go to the timestamps, I'll be putting them after the stream. You can check out then the review of United game, of the Bayern game, of Lazio, whatever you guys want to see. We will give some in-depth analysis on it. But Griggs, I mean, we got to go back to Tuesday because there was an absolute shocker.
Great day.
That was a good day. You know, absolute shocker in Hamburg because obviously Shakhtar cannot play in their own stadium in their own country. I watched the highlights because I was doing a watch-along for the Dortmund-Newcastle game, so I only got to see the highlights. Barca thought to themselves they could rock up and just said, yeah, the pitch is bad. We don't really need to play attacking football today, and think to themselves they could get a result. And Shakhtar, got to give it to them, man. They really don't have a lot of quality compared to what we know of Shakhtar. They have sold so many players. Dario Srna retired many years ago. He was the manager. Dario Srna, people, if you don't know, obviously he's a legendary Croatian right back. He was, I think, the technical director.
Yeah.
They sacked the manager. He is the interim manager, and in 2 weeks he beats Barcelona. Sometimes football is a fantastic sport. But Griggs, do you think Barca should be really worried about this result? I mean, they haven't been playing well recently. After they dominated Real Madrid for that first half, since then it's been a lackluster. No goals, conceding chances. Are you a little bit worried with them, or is it just going through a rough patch at the moment?
I think with Barca, it's kind of something that we said on my channel. We talked about like Barca on the road. That mentality can like instill into that because I think they played Sociedad on the past weekend. They struggled there too. They struggled to create chances again. And that's the one issue with Xavi ball right now is the lack of chances created. Joao Felix, who was like the bright spark early in the year, I think that's 9 games now without a goal. So the goals have dried out for him. Lewandowski isn't scoring at the rate that we're used to from Lewandowski that we saw at Bayern. They don't really have a right winger right now between Lamine Yamal, who's still very young. So he's going to have these rough patches of form. We can't expect a 16-year-old to be letting up the world on fire every game. Midfield, Pedri's not really back yet. He's just coming off the bench. So it's just with Barca, they've always been a low-scoring team. We saw it from last year too. They had a lot of 1-0 wins. So if that goal is not going in, they're good defensively. They don't really concede a lot of goals, but it's just putting that ball in the back of the net they have a lot of issue with, which shouldn't make sense considering the amount of attacking talent they have. But again, on the road, I think they only have like 4 wins in UCL on the road in like the last 4 years.
4.
It's like 4 or 5. It's somewhere around there. Like they
Oh,
really struggle away from home, and this wasn't even in Ukraine to say like it was a very hostile.
it
Like,
was a neutral venue.
It was a neutral venue, so it's not even really away. So with Barca, it's like they're gonna get past the group, obviously, and all that. But come round of 16, that first leg is always away. If it's against a hostile environment, against a half decent team that has attacking output, they might struggle. And we all know Barca, like the goals are lacking. Maybe they signed someone in January. They find the funds somehow. But with me, it's like a worry about the lack of goals because La Liga, I think they're 4th now, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's usually their bread and butter. So they got to find a goal somewhere. I don't know. Maybe sign a new attacker. Maybe try something different in attack. But maybe they're missing Fati, someone that could have been another player that could help them maybe. But Javi got to figure something out because right now this team, we saw like that Real Madrid game. That first half, yeah, they were brilliant. But the second half, Madrid finally were able to keep the ball for like 5 minutes, and Barcelona just lost all composure. That's the signs of a team that's good, but hasn't hit the mentality yet to take it up another level.
Of course. So would you be worried about them then in a round of 16 where they have to go away? Because we've seen Xavi's record away in Europe. Like even away at Porto during the group stage, they should have lost that game. Exactly. They should have lost it. I don't know how much they paid the ref in that matchup because they were not good, and they were not good away in Shakhtar. I mean, away in Hamburg, excuse me. But yeah, it's a bit of a worry, I would say, for Barcelona. But I mean, this is summer result for Shakhtar. I cannot believe they keep on doing it. Even when they went away to Barcelona, they were competitive and they only lost 2-1. And I've just been so impressed by them. It's just like, for the lack of quality they have, they keep on performing. And if they beat Antwerp, and then if this somehow happens that Barcelona lose at home to Porto, and in the final match day, they're both level on points, Barca fans better be getting a ticket to get away from Barcelona, because that if they somehow bottle this, oh boy, Xavi's in big trouble in this group. Then quickly, thoughts on Porto. Comfortable victory. I checked out the highlights. Antwerp got a stupid red card. I mean, the guy was trying to break his shin. And Pepe, he becomes the oldest player ever to score a UCL goal. The guy is just, when you get older, it's like fine wine, tastes better, and he's still playing at a high level. And I actually think this Porto team, they not have the quality compared to previous years. They're super dangerous. You don't want to play Porto in a round of 16. We saw that with Inter last year. It was only 1-0, the aggregate scoreline. But yeah, Porto are a dangerous team. Are they for you a dangerous team as well? Or do you think, okay, good team, but maybe next year they'll be more of a threat?
I think with the Porto team, that defensively solid is always going to be a threat because they don't concede a lot of goals. And when you face those type of teams, all it takes is one lucky set piece from Porto, and then we saw what happened with Juve. Juve may have felt comfortable a couple of years ago, and then they went to Turin and they crashed it on them. And Vanelson, that's 4 goals in 2 games now. That's a good goal scoring record, obviously, for any striker. And if he's in form, come February when the knockout stages start again, he's the type of striker that if he bags a couple goals, we all know Porto's not conceding many goals because Conchao has them set up defensively solid. Yeah. And Pepe, well, this guy's he's a shit house. Let's keep it real as well. So you don't want to that type of player can get in your head, especially against a fragile team that might win the group or something like that. For me, like they're kind of in the same mold of Atletico. They're just that one team that you don't really want to see knockout stages because defensively solid, decent, good on the counter. Have some players that can change a game, like Evanelson, for example. Like we saw against Antwerp, he came on, hat trick. That kind of player can always be dangerous, and there's a reason why he was like touted for like 70 mil move to the Premier League a couple years ago. He just had injury issues, so the quality is there with him. And so I was always rated Copenhagen. That's a great manager, and Taremi as well. But they're just a really solid team, so it could easily cause issue too. I don't know.
I agree. I think even when they're pressing, they press very well, and they just had so many quick counterattacks against Antwerp. And yeah, Antwerp are just they're the worst team in the Champions League this season. They're just so naive defensively. Yeah, okay, good. They play some beautiful football at times, but you have to be smart in the Champions League. You have to, and they have experience in their team. But you've conceded 14 goals in 4 games. That's terrible. That's terrible from Antwerp's perspective. And then we got Barcelona, top of the group, Porto second, and Shakhtar third. Griggs, if somehow, I'm telling you right now, if Barcelona dare lose to to Porto at home the next match day, it's going to get interesting. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to get interesting because I do not want to see Barcelona go out of this group, but I think they will bounce back and regroup because that was not a good performance, and they understand that. Big up to everybody in the house. We got 27 of you. I see you, Zaire. I see you, Steve, Sebastian, Brandon Blanco, AB, everybody in the house. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We can get up to 30 likes, people. Come on. Remember to go subscribe to Griggs' channel. It's in the description down below. All right. I mean, this group is... I mean, what do you want me to... What should we say about this group? It's done, pretty much?
Yeah,
it is pretty much done.
Both teams are advanced already, so it's good.
So... I guess for this group, did you see Haaland's second goal, by the way?
Yeah. Beat the tapping allegations.
See, people want to tell me that this guy, okay, yes, he's not going to do step overs, Zidane turn, Cruyff turn, anything like this. That shot was ridiculous from Haaland. Absolutely ridiculous. Man City are going to cruise. And to me, I think they're easily favorites of the Champions League right now. Of course, that can change in February after the January transfer window. But now, I think they're locked in. You know, people were questioning, okay, Man City's slow start. That's what they do. They give you hope, and then they destroy it. That's Manchester City. They're the big bad bully. And now, Haaland, Doku's coming off the bench and doing 6 for 6 for successful dribble. It's ridiculous. So, how good are they, Griggs? I mean, are they clear favorites for you right now? Or
yeah, I mean, I think they're the best team in the world, obviously. They have the best striker in the world. They don't even have their best playmaker back yet, and Kevin De Bruyne. We don't know when he'll be back, but I'm sure he'll be back by like mid knockout stages, which City will be in. Doku for me is like the most entertaining winger on the planet. I saw a quote of him yesterday from like
in the world.
Most entertaining right now for me, Doku, bro. That dude just pure entertainment. I'm entertained by him every single time, bro. He's not the best, obviously. Like obviously, there's better wingers, but the dude, bro, he just comes on the pitch to dribble. That's all he wants to do, and I love
Fair play to him.
That's what I want, bro. I want to make sure my fullback does not sleep the night before he plays me. That's how worried I want him to be of me, and that's the kind of winger, especially me seeing. We'll talk about my team and the wingers I have to see on a weekly basis. You don't have wingers. Exactly. I want Doku. That kind of winger, bro. That's real entertainment. And he's the best one for me. He's the best 1v1 dribbler in the world as well. Like in terms of as a winger.
Okay. Call him.
1v1.
He's very good, but we cannot. When I want to see him do it against a Liverpool, that's fair, I want to see him do it against a Real Madrid. Okay, it's cool. You're doing it against. Look, I rate Jeremy Doku highly. Seeing him start in Belgium, of course. But let's see him do it against the top teams in the world. Okay, it's cool you do it against young boys, Bournemouth, and these sort of teams. But right now, he's balling out. Can't deny that.
But all right, let's say he's like top 5 then.
Yeah.
Top 5, and then they get into Pep Guardiola, which is probably the one, like, because they missed that profile for a minute. Mars is like the only one that could have done it, in my opinion. And now they have Doku. He's young, so Pep can mold him into any kind of player that he wants, and that's scary because now you've given City. They're obviously great in possession. They could break the low block down, but by having Doku, imagine KDB comes back. You could have a KDB, Haaland, and Doku in transition, so they could play that mid block and just counter on you, and they'll just have 2 fast ass players just running down the wing and running down the channels, and KDB just has all the freedom in the world to feed them.
Nah, it's a cheat code, bro.
So they have multiple ways of beating you, and that's the best thing you can say about a team. If they could beat you multiple ways, then you're the best team in the world because having that variety is always great.
Yeah, they're a cheat code, and I mean they destroyed Young Boys, even though Young Boys got a stupid red card in that game as well. I don't know which player it was that got the second yellow. It's just stupid tackle.
That's 0 XG, I think. They didn't have a shot in the game.
I don't think they attempted. But shout out to their fans. I mean, I don't know what they were doing in the away section, but they had some plastic bags over them for some odd reason. Then the other game in this group, Xavi Simons' goal. By the way, people, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, class. I mean, this kid is Xavi Simons is so good, and it's the usual suspects for RB Leipzig this season: Xavi Simons, Lois Openda. Xavi Simons, Lois Openda. Benjamin Sesko even started. He hit the post. But I got it. Also, Giovanni Svesta, man, they did well in this game. Bukhari had a chance. They had a couple chances, even the last minute. Giovanni Svesta, they've been very competitive, other than the Man City game away, of course, where they were getting peppered in that matchup. I think they played really well. They just haven't been clinical enough, and that's the difference between sort of, I guess, the lower teams in the Champions League to like a middle tier team like a RB Leipzig, who is going to be more clinical and that's RB Leipzig. But I mean, Griggs, to me, they can be a dangerous team, Leipzig, and obviously these two teams have already qualified, Leipzig and Man City. But I think they're around a 16 max team, in my opinion.
I hear that. I think just defensively, Leipzig always have that moment in them where like you can't trust the defensive solidity. And in Champions League, in the knockout stages, that's what I look for. That's what I look for most in a team. Your defensive solidity, because if you're not going to be defensively solid, you're not making it past around 16. Because you can be as free flowing in attack as you want, but you got to be able to keep a clean sheet or your opponent's a 1-goal minimum. And with Leipzig, obviously, it's not like the same Leipzig with Nagelsmann who like just installed his high press. But Marco Rose has a high press in him, but to be fair to them, they have game changers now. Like Javi Simons can change the game at a flip of a switch. Openda is rapid in the counter in transition. You have Sesko, who's still a good young striker. Josip Poulsen might chip in with something once in a while. Olmo, if he's back by then, if he hasn't moved,
that guy he keeps getting injured.
Yeah, so they have options in attack, which I always give the credit to them. But like it depends who they play. Obviously, like they could come up with against a Barcelona, for example. Like they could beat Barcelona, in my opinion.
I think they could give a good game to Barcelona.
Especially with all that space that Barcelona leave in defense.
Xavi Simons, and
they could. And Barca are always injury ridden too, so you don't know what injury Barca's gonna have by then.
Yeah, that's a valid point. But look, both of these teams have qualified. This group is done. I mean, fair play to Cervantes Twista and Younger Boys, but they're going to just battle out. I think it's the next match day when they play against each other to see who goes to the Europa League. But yeah, it's done. Infinito, this group. Big up to J2S for becoming a member of the channel. Shout out J2S. But you got to change that profile picture, by the way, because the Nuggets handed you guys an L to the Golden State Warriors last night. But shout out to J2S for becoming a member of the channel. All right, now this group. Oh, here we go. I'll quickly give my thoughts on the Dortmund Newcastle because I did the watch along for it. Newcastle were, I think Eddie Howe just set them up too defensive. He should have watched exactly what Frankfurt did and exactly what Bayern did and just hit Dortmund on the counterattack. That's all you need to do because defensively in transition, Dortmund cannot defend, especially when Hummels is dragged out wide. He cannot do it. But I think Newcastle, they went too defensive. They played into the hands of Dortmund. Were Dortmund great in the game? No. They managed the game well. I thought Brandt was man of the match. Him and Hummels, they were both man of the match. I think the injuries now are really catching up to Newcastle. You can see this is where you need a squad if you're going to balance the league and the Champions League. A lot of these guys have not played Champions League football, the fatigue and everything to their legs. I think Dortmund, man. Remember, Griggs, everybody after that first match day, they said Dortmund are ass. These guys are not. Why are they in the Champions League? They keep bottling in the Bundesliga. Why are they in the Champions League? Now they're top of the group. And now Newcastle, after everybody was drinking the Newcastle Kool-Aid after that second match day when they destroyed PSG. And rightly so. They were amazing that day. Now the tables have turned drastically after match day 4. Are Newcastle in trouble now of not progressing out of the group? Because their next match is against PSG away.
I think they're done. I'm not gonna lie. Like I respect Newcastle. Like I like what Eddie Howe's done, but I think the moment he lost that game at St. James Park, it was peak because I don't trust the squad to go into Dortmund and win a game. I don't trust them to go into Paris to win a game. Though those are really scary. Those are scary grounds. Obviously, they got the draw at San Siro, but Milan should have won that game if you look at like the amount of chances they created. So I think with Newcastle, you're right. I think I've always said experience is so crucial, and like you saw it in that game specifically. Like Mats Hummels turned back the clock. That was a vintage Mats Hummels performance.
Yeah, well,
Julian Brandt ran the show. He was like the Marco Reus of like 2012, like in that game as his captain. Like he was that good. Even Sabitzer was decent. They were just defensively solid. And Newcastle.
But do you think? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you think Newcastle just were a little bit too defensive in the game, especially with the lineup choice as well?
I think something similar to what I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did when he went to Leipzig a couple years ago when we needed a draw just to progress, and he went with like a 5-back formation that we never played all year, and we paid for it with like the first 2 minutes when Leipzig scored. I think Eddie Howe kind of did something similar. I think he was going for the draw in this match to kind of just like get the point away from home and then continue on from there. If you change your whole game plan in Champions League, it's gonna cost you. You gotta go with what you know. You gotta respect your opponent a little bit, but you can't change your strategy based on your opponent in Champions League. You just gotta play your football, especially in the group stages. Just play your football because draws for me aren't as important as wins. You just gotta win games in Champions League group. You only got 6 games, So try to win as many of them. And
I just don't think I just don't think Eddie Howe really did his homework on Dortmund especially in the
he
last
got
two
outcoached,
games.
bro. But
Yeah,
both
he
games by
did.
Terzic.
And come on, let's be honest. Terzic is not a good manager.
No.
He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. I think he's okay, but I don't think he's gonna help Dortmund get back to the glory days of winning the Bundesliga. I don't think he's that guy. But he outcoached Eddie Howe in this game easily.
Yeah,
Fulkrug gets the goal and Brandt get the goal.
I think Almiron and Gordon were both on the bench to like start.
Yeah,
Those are your two Those are your two best players in transition. Why are they not playing?
Lewis Hall, he looked like he
was
like
ready.
the moment was too big.
He's a good kid though. Like he's really
he's very good.
Like for example, Livramento stepped up. Like he was the best player for Newcastle on that pitch on Tuesday. And he's young. I think he's a couple years older than Lewis Hall, but like that kid's like he's really good. He's someone I think
Livramento's a baller, man.
Bro, I said, bro, people should just buy the dip on even though that ACL was scary, bro, just buy the dip. That's a complete fullback right there. He's got he's strong, he's quick, he's got a good pass. He had a couple crosses that were really good quality, and they were just unlucky, but in terms of like some of the crosses, but nah, Dortmund were by far the better team. They deserved the 6 points over these last two fixtures, and
it's crazy. Newcastle, all of a sudden they got 7 points, Griggs. I cannot explain it.
I think AB said in the comments. Technically, I think that was the difference between like Newcastle and
the
Dortmund.
Technical skill of the
Newcastle
two teams,
have the same mentality going into every game, but sometimes you can't play at 100 miles per hour in Champions League. Sometimes you just gotta you gotta
maintain the game. You gotta just slow it down a little bit.
And you gotta trust the crowd. That Dortmund crowd is no joke. We all know about it. The yellow wall. Everyone, top teams have fallen to that wall. And Newcastle, no disrespect to them, they're not at that level as some of those clubs were, and they just weren't able to do it. Like Bruno Guimaraes kept playing that same pass over and over again. Sometimes just retain it, and they weren't doing that.
Yeah, agreed. Big up, Steve. Obviously, a Newcastle fan says we could play 10 games versus Dortmund. They would win every game home and away. We don't match up well versus them. Yeah, I think that's the valid point here. But now Newcastle are in a bit of a tricky situation going away to Paris in a must-win game. They got to get some players healthy. I don't know. I think Sven Botman might be back soon, and maybe Isak. If they can get those two guys back for that game, that would be critical for them. And then the other game in San Siro, I tweeted this out. I said this in the preview. Milan better show up, and damn right they did. Damn right they did. That game was so entertaining. That first half, it was just tennis. You attack, I attack. You attack, I attack. It was brilliant football to watch. The second half became a bit more of a Italian masterclass. That last 20 minutes, Milan said, we are going to defend for our lives. And they did it. And Milan picked up a absolutely critical victory to really get their campaign going in the Champions League. Because before that, okay, they played very well against Newcastle. They just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. But Griggs, somebody just said it. Leao, Ruben Loftus-Cheek turned into prime Sirdorf in that game. What do you think was the difference between these two teams? Was it more that Milan finally showed up, or that PSG, their guys like Zaire Emery, Mbappe, Colomwani, they didn't show up on the day?
First thing is I think Milan wanted it more. That's the first thing. They had it. And second, I gotta give credit to Pioli because he set up a perfect game plan, especially to stop Mbappe. Mbappe could not get a sniff in that game.
Against Calabria.
He had nothing going for him. He did a nice job doubling. And Loftus-Cheek, he had the worst first 12 minutes of his life because he missed an easy chance with his left foot, and then he just couldn't mark Skriniar to save his life for the goal. But after that, like you said, prime Seedorf, that was, bro, Ugarte had no chance of getting anywhere near him. Like, I felt bad for the kid. Like, actually felt bad for him because
he was terrible.
He had to do like a 1v3 at times because their counter press was terrible. They had PSG's counter press was just absolutely abysmal. They didn't know how to counter press. And Milan, they have a lot of P&P in the team. Like, you have Loftus-Cheek, you have Musa, you have Leao, you even have Teo, you have Tomori who can carry the ball at a decent level. Those are players that they felt. We even saw it in the game in Paris. Milan won a lot of duels. They just didn't know what to do with the ball.
Yeah.
Tuesday, they figured out what to do with the ball. And Leao, he was so bad in Paris. He took that to heart because he was absolutely amazing. He looked at matchup with Mbappe, and on that day, he felt like I'm as good as killing Mbappe. And he proved it in that just for that one game because he was absolutely amazing. Obviously, the goal was like it was like a scrappy like bicycle kick. It wasn't like the best bicycle kick you'll ever see, but he did get enough to get it past Donnarumma. But just his ability to dribble, like they couldn't stop him like counter. They had to like hip check him like it's hockey every single time he got the ball. it was just absolutely amazing. Calabria, we talked about, that was a captain's performance going up against the best player in the world, and he didn't give him a single.
I don't, Griggs, I'm sorry. I just like Calabria to me is one of the worst defenders I see. And there's no disrespect on Calabria. But he has locked down Kvara and Mbappe in the span of less than 6 months. Like, I cannot explain
armband,
it.
bro. It gives you powers, maybe. Maybe that armband gives him powers, bro, because absolutely amazing. And that's just an amazing performance. But for PSG, bro, Ousmane Dembele is confusing the crap out of me. This guy.
To be honest, Griggs, I thought he was decent in the first half. He was making the correct decision. Then the second half, he went back to the old Ousmane Dembele.
Bro, for me, he's a left winger. I'm not gonna lie, bro, because every time this guy cuts onto his every time he cuts onto his left foot from like the right wing, he like slips on the ball. But on the left, like he went down the byline and put in a couple good crosses, bro. Just stick to doing that. Obviously, you can't do that because Mbappe's gonna play on the left. But I think one thing I noticed was Mbappe did really well in the first half of going central, and like he was finding the space.
Yeah, but we cannot see Mbappe in the striker role. That's just not his game. What he wants to do is he wants to take on the right back one-on-one, either cut inside or take him down the byline. That's Mbappe's game. And if he's not able to do it, then he needs to evolve. Okay, you got rid of Neymar, Messi. This is your team, Mbappe. How do you want to play? You got Kolo Muani, you got Ousmane Dembele.
It was so bad. Oh my god. But I think that's my
Kolo
issue.
Muani was terrible.
That's my issue with like Mbappe. Like if you see that you're gonna be doubled all game, go down the byline is not gonna work because you're gonna block everything. That I think Enrique, who should be noticing this, should have moved him centrally so he could attack the space a little bit better because Milan were leaving some space. But that for me, that's Enrique's tactical naiveness and Mbappe's stubbornness to just be like Cristiano Ronaldo on the left hand side and just go and just keep dribbling, bro. Sometimes you just gotta go central. It happens. You're that type of player. We've seen so many players of that profile. We're seeing him right now with Heung-min Son, for example, for Spurs. He was a similar player, but now he evolved. He's like, okay, I'll go striker. That's no problem. I think Mbappe, that's his issue. That might be his downfall eventually. Like, if him not hitting like the levels that we expect from him, it's just his stubbornness and his like will and his demand to just be a certain position. Bro, the best players, especially forwards, knew how to play around the whole front line. It's not everyday left wing, cut in and shoot. Sometimes you got to be in the striker, and sometimes you even got to play right wing and just go down the byline and put a cross in for your striker. You have Gonçalo Ramos, you have Kolo Muani. They know how to score goals.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I agree here with YG, what he's saying around here, but I just thought even like the midfield for PSG, like it did not, like Zaire Emery, that was one of his worst games. He did nothing. Vitinha did nothing. Ugarte was getting bypassed every time. Skriniar getting dunked on again in the Champions League. First it was Dan Burn, and now he got put on another poster by Olivier Giroud. Come on. They even got substituted off Skriniar. But you've put it perfectly. I think Milan wanted him more. I think they had the desire. They knew the job. We are not going to allow Donnarumma to come back into the San Siro and get a W here. They threw all the fake money. They heard all the whistles. They thought to themselves, we better show up. And they finally did. And Griggs, that final 20 minutes was prime Calcio football. They just defended and kicked the ball halfway line. They didn't even try and attack. Not even, I think one attempt from Okafor. Yeah. But brilliance from Milan. Even though Captain America turned into Captain Crunch, he was off. Oh my God, Pulisic was awful. He was so bad. I think everybody else on Milan, maybe Theo to a certain extent wasn't his greatest game. Everybody else I thought played amazing for Milan. They showed up. They have to, if they can just do that, and they keep them. Pioli just needs to understand: you don't play Krunic, you play good football. Krunic is the opposite of good football. You don't want to touch that, Pioli. Just stick with this midfield. In the Champions League, stick with this midfield. Play Krunic in the Serie A. It doesn't matter, okay? It's Serie A. In the Champions League, you just see the legs that this midfield has, the ball carrying, the passing. Like Reinders is just Reinders is a baller, man. That guy is a baller.
I can't get a decision on that dude. One day he looks like a 10 out of 10 player for me. The next day he looks like a 0 out of 10. No in between with that guy.
Yeah,
one day,
very hot and cold.
One day stinker. Like, please make up your mind. But no, I think one last thing on PSG.
Yep.
Vitinha, they gotta get him out the midfield. They can't have like two.
Okay, but then who are you gonna play instead of Vitinha?
They need to go get a midfielder in January. That's my thing. Obviously, right now, like they have a bunch of the same midfielders. You have your Carlos Soler, you have your Vitinha, you have your Fabian Ruiz. They're all the same thing. they need some variety because I think Ugarte, we saw it, bro. He caught pie pass so many times, and not all that is his fault. You can't do that as a DM. You gotta have some like cover with you, otherwise you're gonna get bypassed so many times. I'm seeing that with Michael too. Zaire Emery's good, but he's physical, right? But he's not like that's a different kind of physical. He's physical when he's on the ball. He's not physical when he's off the ball. They need a player next to Ugarte that's physical, that has like an offers. The thing is a twink. Like, let's be real. Like he's good on the ball, but defensively, what is he gonna offer you? He's the same weight. He's like 130 pounds.
So this is what Andy says. PSG need Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Pretty much, they just need another player like that.
They spent so much money on that midfield, though. They like spent big money on Ugarte. They spent big money on Vitinha, and then you're gonna say, "Oh, let's go get another midfielder." Just okay, people. But everybody in the chat, give your predictions. We got 2 match days to go, and all 4 teams are separated by 3 points. Big up to Mo in the chat as well. Big up to Footy Judge Mo. Guys, go check out his channel. Go remember to subscribe to Mo. Go subscribe to Griggs and all that good stuff. Go subscribe to Steve as he's doing watch-alongs. I don't even know what league. One day it's Japan. The next day it's Turkey. Probably the next day he'll do Barbados League with all the streams he's doing for watch-alongs. Griggs, what 2 teams are making out of this group? And everybody in the chat as well. What 2 teams as of now?
PSG are gonna top the group.
PSG are gonna okay.
I think they finished with 10 points.
Okay, so they beat Newcastle and then they draw Dortmund.
And they get to draw in Dortmund.
Okay.
I think Milan finished second. I think Milan beat Dortmund at San Siro.
I think I agree with you. Even though Dortmund, they are playing better, they got to go away to San Siro. That's going to be tough.
And it's not Newcastle they're going to be playing this time. Milan are experienced in Champions League. They know how to get stuff done. They were semifinalists last year for a reason. Obviously they got messed around by Inter, but it's not Inter that's playing them. So I think they'll do enough. And I think Leao is like, he understands right now like what it's about, what needs to be done. So
what if somehow PSG lose to Newcastle at home?
Well, then I honestly have no idea. What does the group even look like then? Then Newcastle go to 7.
Yeah, then Newcastle go to 7, and let's say Dortmund and Milan them draw. Then Dortmund are on 8, and Milan are on 6, and PSG are on 6.
If Newcastle beat PSG, they're finishing top 2 in this group because then Milan gotta go to St. James Park.
Oh man. Oh, this group is so intense.
Honestly,
I just hope that Newcastle can get some players back, because if they go with that same, obviously they're going to make changes to that lineup in Paris, but they have to just look at PSG's defense. It's not good enough right now. We saw Newcastle dunked on it. Obviously Milan created chances. It's not a good defense. If you just take the game to PSG, I don't think they have the players to counteract it at the moment. And we'll see, man. This group is hella entertaining because oh man.
If you think PSG don't advance, you think Enrique gets sacked?
Nah, he's too good of a manager to sack him. He's too good of a
don't know with like the Qataris, bro. At a Champions League for them must be feeling like
okay, Griggs, and then hire who?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's the thing.
Oh, there we go then. Yeah, there you go. What do you want to do? Hire some guy from the Paris streets? You're trying to do better. Somebody might as well go for some cleaner.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Antonio Conte, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? That's like the only manager available right now.
Look, AB, you should be confident, but if you're gonna give up chances like you did to the Newcastle away to Milan, and I think now Milan got the confidence, I would be worried. But at home against PSG, I think you can get the result there. It's so difficult to call. We don't know. First match day, everybody was ripping Dortmund. Second match day, everybody was ripping PSG. Third match day, everybody's ripping Newcastle and PSG. What is it going to be after the fifth match day, the sixth? It goes hand in hand with this group. But everybody, we got to keep on moving. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're around here. Griggs, I think you watched the Atletico game, right?
I did. That was on my dual screen. I had that in Newcastle.
You have to explain to me, how is that a red card on the Celtic player?
I don't want to talk about UEFA and red cards right now.
No, but seriously, like, how is that a red card? Did he he didn't come studs up on him?
I think it was like the height of like where the foul was, maybe.
No, that's never a red card. Celtic got done dirty.
I want to talk about one player only though. Antoine Griezmann. I promise you cannot name me 3 better players in world football right now than Antoine Griezmann. I do not care. This dude, the redemption.
Continue.
The redemption. I promise you, since World Cup 2022, since December 17th ended, and he was great in the World Cup too, but he had a stinker in the final. Since December 17th, Atletico, I think, have only lost 4 league matches. And 2 of them were to Barcelona last year, who won the league. So you gotta give them a pass for that. Obviously, they lost to Las Palmas this past week. That's okay.
Terrible performance.
Champions League, you do not want to see Diego Simeone and Antoine Griezmann, bro. I was seeing him at striker. I was seeing him at right wing. I was seeing him at left wing. The tactical versatility that this guy can offer you as a manager, it must be a dream, because you could just put him anywhere on the pitch and he'll give you a shift. Because I was seeing him play left back as well. He was tracking back. He was putting in tackles against Celtics wingers. That's the definition of a top player. And I wrote an article about him saying like the redemption and everything, like the Barcelona move, what happened and stuff like that. But there was like Diego Simeone was a great coach, and there was one player born to play for him, and that player was Antoine Griezmann. Because he offers the tenacity of what Diego Simeone has, that same mentality. But then you just talk about the technical ability. This dude can do anything. He has amazing ball striking. He can pass. He can dribble to a certain extent. He's not like the best dribbler, but he knows where to be. He knows how to attack the spaces. He's an intelligent footballer. And right now, bro, he lives and breathes Atletico for a reason. And bro, they're a scary team. I would not want to be any team to come up against Atletico Madrid right now. Even Man City, in my opinion, I don't think Pep Guardiola wants to see Atletico Madrid.
Well, we know what happened last time.
We know what happened last time. And that Atletico team did not have Antoine Griezmann in this form. That Atletico team had Joao Felix.
Yeah.
Antoine Griezmann, bro. Even Morata. Again, Diego Simeone. He's another manager you could consider the striker whisperer, because this guy will get the best out of any striker except Joao Felix, apparently. So we all know what the problem was eventually. It ain't Diego Simeone, it's Joao Felix. Because Morata, bro, he's like scoring a goal every game now. That striker duo, Morata and Griezmann, is cooking. Lino, good. Even Saul got on the score sheet. And this was without Rodrigo de Paul.
That second goal by Morata was ridiculous, by the way. That left-footed finish was ridiculous.
Morata had an IQ, bro. He'd be like the best striker on the planet. If this dude knew how to time a run, bro, he'd be the best player ever.
Yeah. No, I think Atletico are a super dangerous team in this Champions League. You don't want to play them, especially with Lino. Now he's back from injury. Quality left back. Quality, man. So it's very intriguing what I'm seeing from Atletico. Poor Celtic. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed. Were they any good, Griggs? Because I only judged by the highlights, but they didn't. What can you do after getting an early red card?
Griezmann scored so early that it just made it so hard for them, bro. Because once Atletico score that first goal, they just make life hell for you. Especially at home, they just make life hell for you. But I mean, they had a couple good opportunities. Obak made a couple nice saves and stuff like that. But and that red card eventually just changed everything. Once you get that red card too, Atletico, you go down to 10 men against them. Like, it's very hard to play against them with 11 men. They just made it hard, man. But Griezmann, bro, just top player.
Steve, I'm not gonna say this out, but you're correct, buddy.
He's right, bro. He's
right, man. See, Griezmann is the main guy, and Morata just needs to do his job. And let's put the ball in the back of the net.
And that's why, for me, that's why Griezmann failed at Barcelona. Because he wasn't the main guy. It had to be Lionel Messi.
Not the main creator or anything like that.
He's not able to be the side guy. Even in France's team, he's allowed to be like, and Mbappe's obviously the main guy and stuff like that. But Deschamps makes sure Griezmann is allowed to be anywhere on the pitch that he wants. He's given that creative freedom. And Atletico, Simeone knows, I'll let you be wherever you want, bro, as long as you give me effort, which he obviously does, and you give me the goals and the output. And that's what he does, bro. There's a reason, bro.
The one thing, though, Griggs, they have to perform a lot better away from home in Europe.
No, that's the issue.
I think they're a very good team at home, but away from home, they have not been convincing, in my opinion. Even the Lazio game, okay, they did well in the second half for like 30 minutes, and then obviously Provedel with the ridiculous goal at the last minute. Celtic away, I thought, Celtic could have easily won that game. They could have easily won that game. And they did have chances.
I hear that. I think that's the one difference between this Atletico team and the Atletico teams of like the mid-2010s. That Atletico team went away from home. Like we saw what they did at the new camp. We saw what they did to the Allianz and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Bernabeu was the only place they really couldn't go to and win. But I think that's the team right now. I think because this team is a little younger, they don't have like that many veterans. Like it's Griezmann, Morata's a veteran, obviously. Jimenez is still part of the team and stuff like that. But they don't have like that kind of group of leaders core yet, maybe. But maybe I don't know. That is tough. It depends on who they draw in the group in the knockout stages as well. Whether they have to go away from home first and stuff like that.
It's critical. It's critical to win this group. I think
schedules and stuff like that. So we'll see. But right now, bro, I think they're definitely in my top. Like, I'd have them in my top 5 favorites.
Ooh. Okay.
Because after City, bro, it's really hard to like judge on like the other 4 teams, in my opinion.
So you have City.
I put Bayern in there because of their attacking quality.
Inter,
definitely.
Real Madrid,
and Atletico Madrid.
So you have Atleti over Arsenal.
Yes, Arsenal hype, man, bro. I
No,
promise you.
come on, bro.
Bro, if you ask any team in Europe who they'd rather play in Champions League knockout stages, Atletico Madrid or Arsenal, they're gonna pick Arsenal.
Is that because it's Arsenal or because of the team that they have?
I have to see Arteta do it first. I've seen Diego Simeone. I read Diego Simeone so much, bro. So, bro, it all depends. It's the tactical switches. It's the mentality, how to play dirty. We saw what happened when Arsenal had to play dirty on Saturday.
Yeah, they didn't respond.
They didn't know how to do that yet. They haven't developed that mentality yet. Atletico, I promise you, Simeone has all 11 of those players know how to play dirty.
No, fair point. And I agree with Father. They don't have the deepest of squads.
One injury to Griezmann and everything's over.
Oh yeah. If Griezmann gets over, oh man, it's finito for them. But then the other game in this group, I got to manage to watch it. Not as good as the first matchup in Rotterdam, but Lazio pick up a critical victory. They didn't play their greatest. I don't think they care. I don't think Sarri cares. I saw Sarri already complaining and we play on Wednesday and Roma are playing a friendly on Thursday. Already the mind games begin before the Derby de Capitale on Sunday between Lazio and Roma. And Immobile gets the goal. Look, it was not great from Lazio. Feyenoord, I'm kind of disappointed in. They did well in certain moments. Like Santi didn't have a lot of chances in the game, I thought. And overall, I think Lazio probably are deserved winners, but I think draw would have been more of a fair result, in my humble opinion. But now this group gets more interesting. I think now for Lazio, this was such a critical victory because now if you do not beat Celtic at home, you're screwed. You got to do it right now. For Feyenoord, that game against Atletico, I think that's going to be bonkers, by the way. And I think that if you guys want to watch a game, it is Feyenoord and Atletico on 20th of November. I think that is going to be absolute fireworks, that game. So keep an eye on it. This is not doom and gloom for Feyenoord. They did struggle over the weekend as well. So maybe it's just, okay, you got to balance both the league and the Champions League. But yeah, this group is interesting. Guys, let me know in the chat and as well. Griggs, who do you think is going through? Because, look, this is tough. Like, Atleti and Feyenoord, that game is so critical. Ooh. See, Lazio are in a good position because all Lazio have to do is just beat Celtic, and I think they're good.
Yeah, they're good. I think. Yeah,
but I don't even. The funny thing is, I don't even trust Lazio.
That's true. That's tough, you know. I think Atletico, because they're gonna beat Lazio in Madrid, so I think they're through. You know, Lazio, Feyenoord, I think are a better team than Lazio. I'm gonna be real.
My opinion, yeah, that's my opinion.
I think they're a better team, but I watched the last 30 minutes of that game because I switched off Atletico when it got like to 4 or 5. I'm like, well, what is the point of me watching this match anymore? Let me go watch something that's like at least close. And I turned this game on, and the first thing I see is Feyenoord miss like 5 chances in a row. They couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yep.
And just losing that game for me, I think I might edge it to Lazio. It's a shame because I think Feyenoord are such a good team.
Yeah.
And they probably deserve to go through, but losing that game, you just got to make sure you get a point in that kind of game. You just got to get to the 1-1 and just job done, and then you handle business at home. But they weren't able to, and at that point, I feel bad for them because.
But you know what? I would not be shocked if Feyenoord beat Atletico at home.
That's true, you know,
because they're such a good team at home, Feyenoord. So if I'm Atleti, I would be worried, guys. I would be worried of that, especially that matchup. We saw the matchup in Madrid. Feyenoord were amazing on the day. They just made poor defensive mistakes. Now, let's see what happens in this game, because that is going to be fireworks. Big up to Steve. He's actually a Lazio fan as well, and he says Atletico Madrid and Feyenoord will advance.
Bro, Steve's a fan of everything.
Steve is a fan of the beautiful game. You got to allow Steve. Steve is watching Shakhtar. He's watching Australia. Oh, man, this guy's crazy. Griggs, how good are Real Sociedad?
Bro, I watched that game, you know. Put it on.
Bro, that should have been 5-0 by halftime.
Bro, every time I was on my phone a little bit. Every time I looked up, I'm like, yo, Sociedad scored. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, bro, they just scored, bro. That team, bro. I think technically, like on a technical ability level, forget pace and power and all that kind of stuff. Technical ball with feet. I think Man City might be the only team better than them. Ball on feet, bro. They have 11 players that all know how to kick ball at a high level. Zubamendi, I saw the comp this morning. Amazing. There's a reason why top team want him.
Yeah.
Merino, Oyarzabal, the center backs are good. Kubo, my boy, Japanese GOAT. Bro, they know how to kick ball more, and they're defensively solid as well. They're just a top team, and I think this might be I think they're gonna be the Cinderella of this year's Champions League.
That's what I've been saying that as well. I think they're gonna make quarterfinals.
I think if they can just obviously they're gonna top. I think they're gonna top the group in my opinion.
It's gonna come down to the final match day.
That's in Milan.
Yeah, it's in Milan. Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, they might finish second, first. If they can avoid Man City in the round of 16, they just gotta avoid that.
I would, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see Arsenal versus Real Sociedad. I think that would be a fantastic footballing match.
I don't know what I'm taking.
I know who you're taking, but I think that would just...
Spain versus England in Champions League mismatch. That's too easy.
Valid point. But yeah, quick word on Benfica. I'll say, I mean, Benfica were just god awful. Oh my god, they were terrible. I don't know what Roger Schmidt is doing right now. The guy started with a 3 in the back formation. He had João Neves. You're playing. I know he's been doing this in the last 2 games in Liga Portugal. You have João Neves, who's one of the best young talents in the midfield. You're playing him out wide as a right wing back.
Oh, that's where he. I was like, where is he? Because I was doing.
No, he was playing out wide. I was like, what am I watching? And they just got every time Real Sociedad won the ball, quick counterattack, and they were through on goal. It should have been 5-0. That first half should have been 5-0. They were very lucky, Benfica, because it could have been a cricket score.
It's the pen too, I think. So I remember they missed the pen.
Yeah, they missed the pen. Bryce Mendes was trying to go for 4 for 4 in the Champions League group stage. Yeah, and Imanol, man, they're such a good team. But yeah, Benfica, they were so good last year, and they have sold some key players. Somebody did make a good point. Grimaldo, I think people are missing on how big Grimaldo was for Benfica. Yeah, he's not the greatest defensively, but that left side for Benfica is non-existent. Di Maria was non-existent yesterday. The whole team was non-existent yesterday. And I don't think they're even going to get European football for the rest of this season because they look like one of the worst teams in the Champions League, which I'm shocked about because they were so good last year. And the drastic fall-off they've had this year, oh, man.
It might be a benefit for them to drop out of Europe, to be honest, at this point.
I think so, too, because they could focus on the league. They're in a competitive league, obviously. Now, Sporting doing a lot better in Porto, of course. So, but Real Sociedad are an amazing team. I mean, this Barren guy, Barrendeisha, I think that's how you pronounce it, Barrendeisha, he is cooking. He was cooking that game. The goal he scored was unbelievable. He's an academy product. This is like Real Sociedad are a very underrated team when it comes to Europe. With their academy, the football they play, I think they play some of the best football. The only problem for them is in most games, they're just not clinical enough. They don't have a striker. If they can get some, like obviously Andre Silva's injured. Obviously Umar Sadiq is coming off the bench. Orizabal has to be that main guy. But yeah, Real Sociedad are one of the best teams in Europe. And can they prove it in the Champions League? For a club that haven't made the Champions League for 10 years and performing like this, I think it just speaks the wonders of Imanol as a manager and the players that they got. And even some players injured like Tierney. So they got some.
It might be a benefit for them at this point.
Yeah, it might be a benefit. The other game in this group then was Inter versus RB Salzburg. Not the greatest first half, watching the highlights, but then the second half, Inter, they turned on the style. They performed a lot better. They made some substitutions. Obviously, Inzaghi is rotating with the squad. Didn't field his best 11, and then they get the penalty, clear handball, and then Lautaro, man, this guy keeps on scoring. I know Griggs, a lot of people were very harsh on Lautaro last season because obviously the Champions League final, his performances in the World Cup. But I think this season, once he's gotten the captain armband, I think we're seeing a different El Toro.
I agree. I mean, Lautaro, I'm not gonna say I'm his biggest fan. I'm not gonna be hypocritical and say that. I have history on the internet on Twitter like saying I don't rate him the highest, but he's won me over a couple of times, and I'm like at this point, like right now, like you can't argue that there's 5 better strikers than Lautaro Martinez in world football. Like for me, like that's just like he's got to be in your top 5, in my opinion. At least until this form, like it's not. You can't even say form because like it's been happening for a minute now. Like at some point, it's just consistency levels, and sometimes strikers just take that next step, and it's look like he's taking that next step. It could be the armband, just having that armband like gives you like that extra motivation. It's obviously pressure as well, but some people thrive in pressure, and he maybe thrives in the pressure right now with being captain, and he knows his task. He's obviously a new role for him in terms of like being the lead striker in the team now. Like he's the veteran striker at this point because Edin Dzeko's not there no more. Lukaku's not there anymore. It's his striker role. Obviously, Thuram's done fantastic as well, and Alexis Sanchez like rotating in for him. But Lautaro just every single time, bro, I see him like he scores. Every time I go on Twitter, I see CBS Sports Golazo post a goal of him. He just knows how to find the back of the net, and in world football right now, that's rare for your strikers. So some strikers, it's rare for like your striker to be that lethal right now, and he's a lethal striker. Inter, we talked about it on my show too. Bar City, again, you could make an argument they're second favorites. Last year, they were the second best team in UCL the whole year because they didn't concede a goal in the knockout stages until Rodri in the final. And this year again, very defensively solid. Inzaghi, we all know about him in the cups. He always makes Coppa Italia final, probably wins it. I think he even won it with Lazio. So he knows how to manage the cups. And they lost some key players. They lost Skriniar, obviously, on it for even though he wasn't really a big part of the team last year, the last 6 months, because everyone knows he was leaving. You lost Brozovic. Lukaku. Like, those are key players to lose. Barella's not even kicked into form yet this year.
Yeah, Barella hasn't been good this season, actually.
Imagine when Barella finally becomes Nicolo Barella again.
Yep. I think they've added more depth, to be honest. I think they've added more. Like, you bring in Thuram, you bring in Pavard.
I think Thuram is better than Lukaku and like Dzeko at this point right now. Like, you can make an argument.
And maybe
not Lukaku because Lukaku's doing wonders for Roma as well. Gotta give him respect for that, but definitely better than Dzeko. He offers more than Dzeko.
Sorry, Mr. Link. I'm having Lautaro over Boniface.
I'm having Lautaro over Alvarez.
And Morata. Sorry.
Is Alvarez even a striker these days? Because
I don't think so. He's playing more like a 10.
Yeah, so like I can't. He's obviously like a striker. Like that's his natural position. But I can't put him in top 5 strikers when he's not playing as a striker.
Yeah, agreed. And Onana.
They lost him. I mean, Jan Sommer's a good goalkeeper too, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but you're going like we saw how good Onana was last year but I think that's a product of how good defensively Inter are with Bastoni, with Acerbi, with Pavard, with Darmian. They're a great team. They're just so experienced. And I'll say it again. They are one of the best. They don't play the sexiest football, but they are one of the best teams in Europe because they are just such a well-drilled side. And you don't want to play against them.
You know what else? Remember I talked about versatility and play style. Inter have versatility and play style. Yes. They can play the Calcio ball, but they also know how they can attack you. We saw what they did with City. They went toe-to-toe with City in possession last year.
Yep.
First half. They kick ball, bro. They have players, bro. You have
if they were just clinical that final, man.
Lukaku didn't want to sell, bro. Man saw making the sound in the stands and got scared, man. It's okay.
Not even him. It's just also Lautaro, man. I don't think Lautaro is like a world-class striker because sometimes in the big moments he just hasn't performed.
X factor.
But he's got to. I think he's trying to be an X factor this season. Yeah, but Inter are a great team, and both of the teams have qualified. I mean, just shows you how poor Benfica have been. RB Salzburg have been competitive, but I think they're just too young and a little bit too naive. And I think they're going to get better and better next year. I think they'll be a dangerous side. All right, move on to Group C. Hey, by the way, shout out to Union Berlin. They finally didn't lose the game. There was 12 losses in a row. They finally got a draw. They probably didn't deserve it because, I mean, Napoli created so many chances in the game, but they were just not clinical. And obviously, Chelsea Loni Fofana gets the goal. What do you think like Napoli's missing? Do you just think that the midfield isn't as smooth as last year? Because we saw how Zielinski, we saw Anguissa, we saw Lobotka, how good they were. This year, I haven't seen the same Anguissa. I haven't seen the same Zielinski. I just feel like they're missing something.
Missing a coach. That's what they're missing. They're missing a coach.
Well, that's a big thing to miss.
Yeah, boy, they just need a better coach. It's simple as that, bro. Because like Lobotka, he was the best 6 in Serie A last year by a comfortable margin. I don't think there was a 6 that could chat to him last year, in my opinion.
Brozovic could have.
Brozovic like was injury prone a lot last year too. Like he missed a lot of games, but obviously talent ability wise, Brozovic could easily chat to him. But Lobotka was that good. Obviously Osimhen wasn't playing yesterday because I think he's still injured. Obviously Vara he's at a high level, but hasn't had the output that he had last year translate. So obviously that doesn't help. Maybe they could get Politano scored, but maybe a higher quality right wing. But you lose your best center back in Kim and Jay, who's a top 3 player in your team. You lose your coach who won you the Serie A. I think winning a league title and losing your coach is always detrimental.
Yes.
And I think that, like, that's why I said they need a coach, but you win a league with your coach. Like, that's from there you're meant to build on with your coach. And for him leaving, I think that caused an effect on the team. And like you saw with Garcia, like he comes in and like they're trying to replicate Spalletti. A coach can't replicate another coach. That's just not how it works. You got to add your own like sprinkle into it and like stuff like that. You could take some of it, or, like continue with it, obviously because the players are used to it. But you got to add your own like effect on the team, your own imprint. And Garcia hasn't done that, and they just need a high quality coach. Obviously, like if Antonio Conte wanted to go there, I think they would have sacked Garcia. But it's good that Conte didn't go there. Conte
that would have been a suicidal mission by De Laurentiis.
Yeah, I think that's not the right coach, but they just need like. I think Italiano from Fiorentina should be the next coach of this team. I think that's the next step that they should go to because I think he has a similar principle to Spalletti that he could, but then he could add his own like imprint on it because he's that good of a tactical manager. And I think that's a guy that they should be pushing for. I don't know why they didn't go for him in the summer more. Like they didn't push harder for him.
I mean, he's still probably got a project going with Fiorentina.
Yeah, he's got a project going.
They're in European football too, so he didn't want to leave that.
Maybe so. I don't know where Fiorentina on the team. I think they're 8th right now in Syria.
I think 6th or 7th, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere there. So I think that's the next manager. I think you just stick it out with Garcia this year. I think they're good enough still to make top 4 in Syria. Obviously, they still have the quality for that. And then you stay in Champions League football, and then you address it next summer with like a better coach because this team just needs a better coach. Obviously, also you got to keep your players. You got to find a way to keep Osimhen because Premier League clubs are going to come in for him now.
Yes.
The Serie A title
after the situation that happened as well.
The Serie A title, that aura of the Serie A title is not there. It's not going to be there this summer that it was last summer. Osimhen is not going to be all happy and gloomy at Napoli. He's going to see the big clubs come in for him. Like Arsenal going to come in for Osimhen.
Well, it depends on who they get in the January transfer window.
Yeah, if they sign Tony, then maybe not. But if they don't, if the directors say go this way for summer, Chelsea are going to come in for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Madrid might come in for him.
Yeah, could be.
Who knows? Because Mbappe, I don't think Mbappe goes to Madrid.
Then PSG got 3 strikers. They could just play 3 strikers up front and say, "Hey, we're just gonna lob it up front and see what happens there." But I mean, Union Berlin, they're just
good for them. Man. I was tired of going there on football. It was just red, all the way down below.
It's been terrible for them recently. I think they're just a team that's really with no confidence. They don't really play that sort of football that's going to get them out of bad situations. But they got a point, and now they can get some confidence heading into the final this next match day because they're playing against Braga. If they win that game, they get Europa League football. And if they lose, then they get no European football. But right now, I think Union Berlin got to focus on the Bundesliga because they are, I think, 2 points or a point above the relegation zone. It's been terrible for them this season after all the good signings that they made. And then the other game in this group, comfortable victory, even though Braga did miss a penalty like in the first 6 minutes. Lunin obviously saved it. I think Kepa got injured in the warm-up, and then Brahim Diaz coming in for Bellingham, who was on the bench, and then the 2 Brazilian guys, beautiful finishes from them. Comfortable victory for Real Madrid. I mean, the only problem I had is we didn't get to see Arda Güler, and I think a lot of people were pissed off they didn't get to see Arda Güler, who was on the bench. I think Griggs, Real Madrid, they're playing well. I think it's the thing for Vini and Rodrigo. It's just getting used to that sort of new tactical switch by Ancelotti with the two striker formation. Once they get more comfortable, and maybe if we can see how they play off a striker like Joselu, maybe we'll see the best of Vinicius and Rodrigo. But it was a comfortable victory for them. And I don't think they can win the Champions League because they just don't have that striker and their attack isn't that threatening. But they can make it to a semi-final. It's Real Madrid.
And I mean, yeah, you're right. I think it's just that striker's missing. Maybe they address it in January. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think it is that. I think just those kind of forwards, like Vinicius, I think Vinicius and Rodrigo, you're seeing in La Liga, they are not as consistent. And those are the 2 key players for me that need to get consistency because we know what you're going to get out of Bellingham. You know what you're going to get out of Kroos. You know what you're going to get out of Modric. You know what you're going to get out of every single player right now except Vinicius and Rodrigo. Those are the 2 players right now. And Vinny's a great player, obviously, world class and everything like that. But this season, he hasn't been consistent, and neither has Rodrigo. And if they get consistency, then they can do a lot of things in the Champions League because they have X-factor players. They have match winners, and that's what you always need in Champions League. You got Jude, who's obviously maybe the biggest match winner in football right now. Because every single time he looks like he's going to win a match. And they just need Vinny and Rodrigo to somehow do it. But if they get like a striker in January, it doesn't even have to be like a glamorous one. Just someone that can hold up the ball and allow maybe Jude to make those 3rd man runs to allow Vinicius to play. Because Vinicius needs a striker to play off of. He's not a striker. it's kind of criminal what's going on with him because, like, bro, this is one of the best touchline wingers in world football. Maybe if not the best touchline winger in football.
Yep. I think they need. I don't think they're going to sign a striker. I think they're going to wait till the next summer to see what they do. Will they go for like a Santi Jimenez? Will they go for an Osimhen? Because I don't think Mbappe is good. Like, where are you going to play Mbappe if you sign him? Where?
Mbappe shouldn't have come to Madrid at this point. Just give it up, man.
I think give it up. And I think Real Madrid, I think they've moved on. They just saw like, hey, we got Bellingham. This guy is amazing.
See that every single time though.
I think they see how Bellingham is performing. They're like, okay, we can build around him. We can build around Vinny. And then we just get a striker, and this team is looking good. Then they just get some fullbacks. All right. Then Real Madrid are cooking again. And yet, look, Zaire, I did see that one challenge. I think it was from Lucas Vasquez, who pushed basically Bruma. He basically speared him like he was Goldberg. I don't know how that's not a penalty, but they did get the penalty and they missed it. So really, Braga, they have themselves to blame for this game. They had the chance to go 1-0 up 6 minutes in at the Santiago Bernabeu. You have to take your chances in these opportunities. And Guller is injury prone. Like Fati was at Barca, not the best signing so far. Yeah, Mateo, but the kid is 18, 19 years old. So you got to have patience with Arda Guller. He's not going to be the greatest immediately, but I want to see him more involved in the team. Just give him a couple minutes. This was the perfect game. You're up 3-0, 15 minutes, Arda Guller, go run out, but maybe Ancelotti knows how to deal with these situations. Real Madrid, all they need to do, I think, is they're playing next game is against Napoli, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, they just need a draw. They win the group. Napoli, they just need a point, or if they can get a win, then they'll be through. And then Braga and Union Berlin, yeah, they're just going to fight out for that third spot on the next match day. And then we got 2 more groups to go. Remember, people, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Remember to go subscribe to Griggs' channel in the description down below. As Arsenal, comfortable victory. Did you watch the game? I only
saw the highlights, obviously. I was focused on another English team.
We'll get to that other English team.
Yeah, we'll get to that team.
Go ahead.
First thing I saw was Havertz missed that free header. That's the first thing I saw. I saw that in my group chat.
Let the man be.
That's the first thing I saw. But now with Arsenal, it's just and Martinelli was having fun. I think he completed like one of the most dribbles or something like that.
That one move he did on the sideline. Holy cow.
I mean, Arsenal, bro, I think Sevilla, bro. This is Sevilla's bro, they're just trying to get into that third spot and they're trying to go to Europe.
I don't think they're even trying to do that. They were terrible yesterday.
Bro, Arsenal just were just easy. It was just an easy game for them. They just so comfortable. Trossard was good, obviously. Martinelli was good. Obviously, didn't get like the goal that he maybe deserved, and Saka just. Well, it's just like comfortable. I think someone said in the comments 0.02 XG.
Oh my God. No, I was just looking at Sevilla's stats. They had one shot that was from the edge of the box in the 97th minute.
Colin, yes. That's what they were trying to do yesterday. First.
What the heck is Alonso doing? What is he doing? I saw his lineup before the game started, and I saw Rakitic on the bench. I saw Ocampos on the bench. I said, nah, all right.
Sevilla. He threw the game first. Arsenal probably should have won more than 2-0 then, I'm guessing.
I mean, they did have some chances. I mean, Havertz had that one volley, which was well deflected, but it was just too easy for Arsenal. I mean, the first goal they scored was really nice from Jorginho pass, breaking the lines to Saka. Trossard then with the easy tap in, and then Saka, yeah, that was beautiful just to leave the defender. Cruyff turn, bottom left corner. It was too comfortable for Arsenal, but I think they needed this win as well because bounce back, loss, 2 losses in a row, actually, and to bounce back and get a victory, I think this is going to give them a lot of confidence. And maybe just Arteta looks like, hey, okay, and Nketiah, you can do well against the lower teams in the Premier League, but maybe for now, until Jesus gets healthy, we're going to roll with Trossard in the Champions League. But I think these are the sort of performances where I look at Arsenal, I'm like, I think they can make it to the semis. I know people don't.
They have the ability to do it. They have a quality to do it.
And they have a good defense. They have a good defense, Griggs. I think that's one thing that Arsenal. They might not score a lot of goals, or they're going to play.
They have the second best defense in the world, in my opinion. I think only Man City have a better defense than them.
Oh,
because
I would probably have Inter's defense ahead of Arsenal.
Maybe. But Saliba and Gabriel are just impeccable. Even against Newcastle, like obviously Newcastle that goal and everything like that. But before that, Newcastle had nothing on them. They were doing absolutely zilch. They can see. I think City are again the only team with better defensive metrics in the Premier League. And bro, Saliba for me is like top 3 center back in world football for me. I think Saliba
is amazing. He's an absolute beast.
Gabriel is good. Obviously, the fullback is the only thing they have to like question. Like that's the only thing Arteta can like rotate on because like sometimes you can't go Zinchenko. It all depends on the matchups. All depends on what midfield he's playing. That's the thing with Arteta. That's the thing that's the worry about me in Champions League is Arsenal don't have a consistent starting 11. He doesn't know what midfield, and because whatever midfield he plays, that will affect what left back he plays.
What was their midfield again yesterday? Was it the same midfield that they had over the weekend?
I don't think was it. Maybe not.
It was Rice, Jorginho, Havertz.
Okay, so it was the same midfield, but he didn't play Zinchenko this time.
No, he did. I think did he start Vieira over the weekend? Oh no, Vieira came off the bench if I'm not mistaken.
Came off the bench. He had a stinker.
See, like that midfield, okay. Could that midfield go up against like Bayern's?
It's getting cooked, bro. Well, Musiala is cooking.
Yeah.
He's cooking people, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, I like that. I don't think that'll be the midfield. I think when Odegaard comes back and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, when Odegaard comes back, and then I think you want to play Rice at the 6, and I think Arsenal they might be going for an 8 then in the winter transfer window.
That's the thing. Arsenal, I can't figure out with them right now because I don't know what 11 they're gonna play. I don't like the dynamics of the team. Like he switches it up with every single player is meant to have like a relationship. Like the dynamics are just so up and down. Like I don't know what he's gonna do, and that's my issue with Arteta. That consistency I can't see, but we'll see, bro. Because right now we're coming up to the busy schedule of the Premier League, which means he's gonna start building a more consistent 11, and that will lead into it. But all depends on who they get around at 16, of course, and stuff like that. I think they'll get past that. It's just against the big boys. What can they do against the Bayerns, against the Real Madrids, even against Barcelona? If they come up against that, Man City, they might come up against Man City in the quarterfinals.
I mean, hey, they've beaten them twice in a row, so Arsenal fans should be confident. But comfortable victory. Sevilla didn't offer much. PSV, they created all these chances, but Chucky Lozano, this guy he's brain dead footballer. Brain dead. Chucky Lozano. This guy, man, he was so frustrating. I watched this game. It was really entertaining, and the challenges were just flying in. There was a bust up at the end of the first half because one of the I think it was Ramallo who went down for PSV, and then one of the Lens players tried to pick him up. Entertaining game. PSV should have won this game 3-1, 4-1 because Lens hit the post in like the last couple of minutes. I just think to myself, if Lens were just a bit more clinical, they could have probably gotten a point. But PSV, there's such a different team at home compared to away. Away, they don't create a lot. The pressing isn't there. They're not as open. But at home, this side, they're just going to play attacking football under Peter Bosz. They're going to leave space to the opponents. And they got the victory because of Luke de Jong getting the goal. Greeks, they have started the Eredivisie season 11 for 11. Perfect record.
Yeah, I remember you told me they were undefeated and they must have continued. That's fair, man.
Yep, and now they're second. So they go away to Sevilla. You know what's funny, though? If Sevilla win that game and then Arsenal beat Lens, those 3 teams are on 5 points.
Sevilla in Europa League, bro. Keep me out of that competition, please. No, I do not want to see that club again in my life, man.
These guys, Sevilla, are hilarious. They were so... Watching the highlights, they didn't even have the highlights. They had no highlights package. It was terrible.
Bro, that game last year is still haunted into my memory, man. Oh my god,
I bet it is. But who do you think is going to come out second in this group? I think Arsenal they're gonna win this group, but they just need to beat Lens at home. But who do you think is going to get second now? That's the quick
PSV.
question.
I think PSV get a point against Arsenal in Netherlands.
Ooh.
That would be.
But do they beat Sevilla away? That's the big question, though.
Draw. But Lens going to lose to Arsenal at Emirates. Yeah. So
should be enough then for PSV. But let me know your thoughts, people in the chat. Remember to hit the like button. As we get now, I think everybody wants to talk about this. And unfortunately for Griggs, he is a Manchester United fan. Yeah, well, I think we got to start with Man United. I mean,
let's just start with it, bro.
Just get the pain out of the way. Get the pain out of the way. That game was absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. I'm going to ask this to everybody in the chat before we get to more in-depth analysis of the game. Yes or no, was it a red card for Rashford? That's a tough one, Griggs, because I see a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this. It's going to be one of those debates where it's 50-50. Oh, I think it's a red card because of this. No, it's not a red card because of this. Everybody's going to have an opinion on the matter. For me, I think Rashford's unlucky. But it's just like... If he broke his ankle, oh bro, that looked like he almost broke his ankle with the amount of force that Rashford just stamped on him. I think he's unlucky in that situation, but the penalties were a joke. Both of the penalties, absolute farce. How they give those for penalties is beyond me. I mean, Griggs, take it away, buddy. I mean, first off, do you think it was a red?
No, but I'm not mad at people that say it is a red.
Mm.
At first, obviously, I was, but I'm like, I look at more at it. I get it. Like he did like stamp on him. It was a dangerous like move. But the thing with me is the dude put his foot under Rashford's because he was trying to win the ball, and Rashford was trying to shield it, and he didn't know where the dude was, and he put his foot down. Like you have to be able to land your foot at some point, and it was unlucky that it was on that guy's foot. For me right now, with me, it's just consistency. If we see that as a red throughout the whole Champions League, you know what? Fair enough, man. But like in the Premier League, that's not a red card. That's never given as a red card in the Premier League.
That's the problem, though.
Because Udogie was sliding in like on a, like the way he slid in on.
But I think there was a difference. There was a difference between the Udogie. Udogie didn't really get any sort of contact. Like Rashford literally just went boom right on his ankle.
It all depends on the red card. Is it going to be based on intent or is it based on contact?
I think that one was clearly on contact because I think they just saw the amount of force.
Because he didn't intend to do anything. Like he didn't. Well, he had no
definitely.
intention.
I don't think Rashford definitely did not mean to injure the player at all or stamp on.
Also, another thing, Copenhagen players were not complaining at all. They did not complain about that. Like
they did.
The ref didn't even call it a foul.
That's what was strange to me. Yeah,
we almost scored a goal based on that. Like we countered and I think Hoyle missed a shot, but forget red card. Even though I did think the red card had like an impact on the game and everything because we were comfortable. Because those first 35 minutes, 40 minutes, bro, Copenhagen did not do anything. We completely controlled the game. Ten Hag made tactical switches. We saw more of a 4-2 build-up than the 3-1 build-up, which is always good. More options in midfield. Rasmus Højlund, bro, I tweeted this. This is what it felt like to have a striker score a tap-in. Bro, that's my favorite goals ever, bro. Forget long shots, bro. Tap-in. Tap-in merchant. Yo, give me more of those tap-ins, bro. Give me more of them Holland goals. That's the best goals to score, man, because that means your whole team played well and they all contributed because that first goal, that build-up was amazing. We baited their press. We broke it down. McTominay, nice little cutback to Højlund, easy goal. Højlund's second goal, Garnacho maybe could have passed it earlier, but he took the shot. Højlund was in the right position, good striker awareness, and the red card happened. Obviously, even with the red card, when you go 2-0 up, you gotta see out the game, even with 10 men.
Like Griggs, I mean, you know what's funny though? I opened my YouTube app today and I see everything like United robbed. Okay, okay. Well, then after Copenhagen were robbed because you went into a 3-2 lead with a dubious penalty that's never coming in my opinion.
You said their pen wasn't correct either. So
no, exactly. They both penalties are a joke.
So it's all on the red card now. It's the red card, which is a 50-50 decision. So you can't really say robbed because it wasn't like 80-20. Obviously, at first I said robbed because I hate referees and everything like that.
No, of course, I understand.
I do think it caused like an effect on the game because if we were 11 men the whole game, I think we beat them. But again.
But we've seen Man City go down to 10 men this year against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool.
Players. That's why I think, and that's where I come on the Man United players. And I hate coming on my players because I do think like the fact that it was like Copenhagen got the red card happened, right? And then they hit the crossbar on that free kick.
Yes.
Momentum swings at that point. The referee gives 13 minutes at a time in the first half, which is absolutely ridiculous.
But there was an incident in the crowd as well, I think, as well.
Or was there, or whatever? But
yeah, that was the reason why there was added time.
I know they're doing it with like the clock, bro, but 13 minutes out first half was outrageous, man. That's ridiculous. And the first goal, Onana should have saved in my opinion, because the shot was low and slow enough where he could have like parried it a little bit. But the defense, Rafael Varane was not interested in playing yesterday's game. He was not interested in playing yesterday's game. I do not care, bro. This guy, bro.
Nah, I agree.
Saudi Arabia, Al Hilal, Al Nasser, Al Ettifaq. Steven Gerrard, do you have a plan for me? Goodbye.
Wow,
bro. This is
Mr.
Champions League and Mr. Model Professional, and he comes on the pitch looking like he wants to cost us the game because he got benched. Bro, you're meant to be the leader. You're meant to be one of the leaders of the club. You're the veteran. You're Mr. Champions League. You won 4 Champions League. You, Casemiro, and Bruno are kind of like the 3 leaders, in my opinion, because you have the most experience. And that's the performance you give me. That's crazy, man, bro. Goodbye. Bro, how is Evans playing better than Varane? Because Evans, maybe if Evans was on the pitch yesterday, we don't lose that game.
Possibly, yeah.
Bro, like
I mean, you kept a clean sheet away at Fulham, so
that's what I'm
with
saying,
those 2 center backs.
That's the thing I'm saying with Johnny Evans, like, model professional. That's more of a model professional because Varane, that 4th goal was all his fault. He was that pass. And like with me, it's like I think Ten Hag could have done better, maybe adjusting to the 10 men. it's so hard, bro. Because again,
I don't think you can blame that loss on Ten Hag.
no,
if
it's
I'm
not
gonna
his
be
fault.
honest.
That
was all on the players.
I blame Ten Hag a lot this year. I blame them a lot. But I think
I think
yesterday,
a lot of United fans have.
I think yesterday I saw good tactical adjustments, especially in the first half with the way he switched, which means he's realized his mistakes and he's adapting to them.
Yep.
And it's something I hope I see on Saturday against Luton. So good rotation in that aspect. I think just the players against losing the bottle, Diogo Dalot switching off at the back post, and he had a good game, but it's those small mistakes that they make.
Even
that's the thing.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They can have the perfect game. They have the perfect game, but that 1 minute they'll play the. Even Wan-Bissaka, he was brilliant for the first goal because he played that nice reverse pass to McTominay. But then for I think was it the third goal, that was his fault because he played a stupid back pass to Onana where he like bounced it up in the air. Onana couldn't control it. It wasn't a corner in my opinion, by the way. I think Onana cleared it before it went past the line, and they scored off the corner. But whatever, that's minuscule. Defend the corner. You allowed them to play the ball inside the box like 10 times before you even try to clear it. Again, those kind of mistakes, those are the players. And I know a lot of United fans are mixed on yesterday. They don't want to play. They don't want to blame the players because they feel like the referee decision has such an impact on mentality. But you can't let a 10 go down a 10-minute affect you to that level. Okay, maybe like the first 5 minutes after red card, you're affected by it, right? But then you had a whole halftime, 15 minutes to rest, get over it, and come out. And we did do that because the first 15 minutes of the second half, we played really well. Copenhagen kind of get a sniff of the game. We controlled the crowd again. But what do Man United do? When everything, I think someone tweeted yesterday, Man United are like when they're playing Mario Kart, their first plays, that blue shell is always going to come and hit us. And that's what he did, bro. The blue shell kept coming. Bro, we conceded to a dude named Rooney.
Hey, no. I'm going to speak on Rooney because I've been...
No, but you know what the funny thing is? He's named Rooney because his dad loved Wayne Rooney. That's what we can see, bro. We're Narratives FC. And what happened with Rashford's brother after the game, I'm not going to talk about that. But
yeah,
bro,
don't. Yeah.
But it's just like Man United, we're a reality show waiting to happen.
You're the Kim Kardashian of football.
We're the Kim Kardashian of football right now, and it's everything crashing down. And I feel bad because Ten Hag does. Because in my opinion, I've said this. I want to finish fourth now. I don't care about Turkey away. I don't care about Bayern Munich, bro. I know. Technically we can finish second in this group with 6 points. I do not care.
There is no way I can guarantee. Well, okay, I won't say
we're not
guarantee.
winning. You can't guarantee
Istanbul.
Because this Man United team, I can easily see this team scratching a 1-0 win away in Turkey. This team is so up and down. The most predictable thing about Man United is the unpredictability. Where the most our biggest consistency is being inconsistent. It's so funny with this club, bro, and it's a shame because again, yesterday that was the best first half all year. I was finally happy. I'm like, yo, win this game. Then you have Luton at home on Saturday. You beat them, right? And then you go international break. Okay, thank God. Okay, you have some time. But Europa League football missed me with that, man. I do not want to see Europa League football. There's no point in me being in Europa League.
You don't want to hear, oh.
Bro, this team doesn't need more games. This team needs less games. This team needs more time on the training pitch. So Ten Hag can finally instill his principles. Because yesterday I saw training happen. I saw a team that knew how to rotate around the pitch, nice ball rotations. Everyone knew how to be in position, nice switches, and we're gonna get players back eventually. That system yesterday will look so much better with a Luke Shaw instead of the Diogo Dalot. It will look much better with Alessandro Martinez instead of a Johnny Evans or a Rafael Varane. It will look better with the Kobe Mainu than maybe an Eriksen or McTominay.
Possible. I think that game yesterday though was evidence once again that your players are very weak-minded.
Yeah, we need again. Once again, we need a gutting of the squad. Again.
Yes, exactly. And like the subs you bring on, they didn't have an impact. Amrabat
I don't know what. The only thing I question is
terrible, bro.
But I got gaslighted yesterday by some like Serie A fans. And I've gassed up Amrabat. I've defended him. Well, he was terrible yesterday.
Yeah, he's not been good since you guys have signed him.
Well, he was really terrible yesterday.
Yeah, Mount. I feel bad for Mount. I just don't think he knows his position in the team.
He took up Højlund for him. I'm like, that makes no sense to me.
I think Højlund was just tired, probably.
But bring on Martial. Bring a striker on.
You know, Martial's but I think he just wanted somebody. I don't know why he brought on Mount, but yeah, it wasn't a good. I just think that once this United team, once they feel adversity.
That's the thing. Adversity.
Yeah, everybody just falls down. Everybody loses their head, and every single player lost their head. But hey, man, I've been saying that FC Copenhagen have played well in these first 3 games, and they finally got a victory. And the manager came out after the game and said that was our worst performance of the first 3 games. And I fully agree with him because United were absolutely kicking ass for the first 40 minutes. And then as soon as they got the red card, the game changed. And then after the first 25 minutes of the second half, the game changed again. It just seemed like once FC Copenhagen just smelt a little bit of fear from the Man United players, then they pushed on and tried to get the equalizer, and then they got the winner. And shout out to Rooney Bargi, man, 17-year-old Swedish wonder kid. He's gonna be a baller, bro. I actually tweeted about him in August, Griggs, and that the mere fact that he actually scored the winner is hilarious to me. And if you ask any FC Copenhagen fan, he is one of the best prospects to come out from their academy or from their system. Unbelievable.
What position does he play?
Right wing, basically.
Bring him in.
No, I can guarantee you that Chelsea are going to try and sign him.
No, not just bro. I need a right winger now. Tomorrow, today.
To be honest, I'll take Rooney Bargi over Anthony right now. Easily.
I'll take you over Anthony. Don't worry. I'll take a lot of people over Anthony, bro.
That was an incredible victory for FC Copenhagen. I know people will be like, "Oh, United got the red card and this and that." You still have to go for the victory. Did they play their best? I don't think. I agree with the manager.
We could have made it 4-2. Bruno didn't know how to do a cutback.
Yeah.
Execution again. Execution. The margins. Every single game Man United have played this year, like maybe except Man City where they absolutely whipped us. Every game has come down to the fine margins.
You guys just keep making individual mistakes. That's their biggest problem.
That's just last year the margins were in our favor. This year they're not. Onana against Bayern, we were brilliant. Our best performances this year have all ended up in losses. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Our worst performances have been wins. Our best performances have been losses.
It's all here, Griggs. You guys I think your players have the ability, but it's just that once adversity hits them, they all fold.
Now we have no Rashford for Galatasaray, which means I have to see a Garnacho, Højlund, Anthony front three, and Gala in Turkey away.
Against that press, good luck, bro. I'm sorry, good luck. Because what Galatasaray did to Bayern at home, if they were just clinical, would have won that game. Even yesterday, Galatasaray, they could have easily beaten Bayern.
Yeah,
they had chances.
I watched that game too because those are my boys' crib. He's a Bayern fan, so we were watching both of them.
Man, any last thoughts, people in the chat for United?
Fourth place finish. Please, fourth place.
He doesn't want to go to Europa League. Obviously, everybody wants to.
If I see Sevilla again, bro, I can't see Sevilla again, bro. I have eternal PTSD against Sevilla.
Sevilla, I think you should be worried about the red team in Merseyside.
Nah, beat us. I don't care, bro. You think I care about losing Liverpool in Europa League? That means nothing to me. It's already happened once.
Okay, all right, okay.
It happened once in 2015. I didn't care.
That's true.
I don't think we can win Europa League. So last year,
to be honest, I don't think Europa League has a lot of good teams, but obviously it depends on which teams go down from the Champions League.
Let me go look at Europa right now. I'll tell you who could beat us right now, bro.
Probably by Leverkusen. Sporting could give a match.
They're wiping the floor with us, bro.
Yeah.
Grimaldo back post is gonna kill us. Frimpong back post.
Frimpong on the other side, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look great for you, Man United, but FC Copenhagen, shout out to any FC Copenhagen fans watching. Great victory, great. I mean, the support. They even had the tifo before the game. They just knew that they were going to win the game.
They copied that from me, bro. That's been a YouTube title of mine for every time Man United lose at home, I say that.
No, but bro, they had the devil sleeping on a bed. That was unbelievable from the ultras of FC Copenhagen.
That's what's wrong with Man United, by the way. We released a devil kit, and we expect it to do good this year, bro. I promise you, karma is real, man.
No, this. I look. I do feel bad for Ten Hag because I think he actually had the perfect plan, and then everything just derailed. But it's just like the players.
You know what the issue though is? If we finish fourth, we all want that as a fan base, right? Because I do not want Thursday, Sunday. It makes no sense to me. This team needs, like I said, less games, more time on the training ground.
Okay.
But that might cost Ten Hag his job because the owners are going to look at it from a money perspective.
You cannot. If you told people before this Champions League group stage you finished last, what are you saying, Griggs?
I'm saying sack him. It's embarrassing. But but the owners are going to look at it from a money perspective because at least if they go into Europa, right, they're like, okay, we can make some revenue off for Europa League if we progress at least to let's say the quarterfinals, semifinals, right? That puts money in pockets, more match day seats, more money. Yeah. You tell Man United, the owners are going to look at it. We only have 2 competitions left in this season: Premier League and FA Cup, which you could go out of it at any stage. Because you could draw a Premier League team in the 3rd round and get knocked out right away.
Yeah.
In January. That's clip.
I don't think you can sack him. I don't think there's any point.
They can't afford to anyway.
Yeah. And then you're going to go.
It's going to cost 15 mil to pay him off. They can't afford that.
Jesus Christ. Last game, people. Obviously, Galatasaray, Bayern Munich 2-1. Bayern looking strong. I mean, Kane is just on fire, bro. This guy is on. I think that's 6 games in a row. He has scored, I think, in that run, I think it was 12 or 13 goals, something ridiculous. Like, Kane is just, I mean, him and Haaland are the best strikers in the world. They are. And Kane is just loving life in Munich. Galatasaray, they gave a good match. I mean, there was that offside goal for Lucas Torreira, and I think it was just Icardi's hair or some follicle.
This whole part of his body was offside. The left cheek
was offside.
And the left shoulder was offside.
That's great. The Galatasaray, they gave a good match again. They're just a very good team, Galatasaray. That's why I'm saying, like, if United want to get anything in Istanbul, good luck. Good luck.
But the thing is, if we win that game, I'm confident we get out the group.
Yeah, because I think
we got something for Bayern Munich come Old Trafford in December.
Yeah, and Bayern have already won this group because it's already done. They got it.
They're not going to tank though, because we know what Bayern have that winning streak going on. I think it's 28 straight group stage games won.
Yeah, something like that. Some ridiculous. They haven't lost in like I don't know how many years now. 7, 8 years.
I think PSG were the last team to beat them.
In the group stage?
That Neymar and Mbappe first year.
Okay, yeah, it might have been 2017-18. Yeah,
I think that was the last time they lost, which is crazy to think about.
But yeah, Bayern are just. I don't think they're playing their best football, and I think they're still missing a midfielder. But you can just see the signs of a really good team. And Musiala obviously came off injured, so hopefully he's not too injured, and obviously hopefully it's for the Bundesliga. It doesn't go as bad then. But Galatasaray, I don't think they should be worried. They gave a good match. They could have easily. Icardi had a chance in the first half. Ziyech even also had a chance. Like, Gala are a good team. They just got to be clinical. And that's what they got to do in the next match day against United. If they're clinical, they can win that game. But Grapes, what's your thoughts of Kane, man? The guy is just inferno.
Fun fact, he has more goals. He has more J than Lewandowski had in his Ballon d'Or years. His Ballon d'Or years that he's meant to win. Then in this stage of the season, I think it was 10 match days in Bundesliga and 4 games of Champions League. He has like 5 more GA than him.
Yep.
At that stage, it's gonna be funny when he wipes out Lewandowski's records within the first year. In a worse Bayern Munich team, by the way, too. That's the funny thing. This Bayern Munich team is not as good as those Bayern Munich teams of the past.
Yeah.
At all. So they just look good. Again, the midfield, it's obvious what they're missing. If Bayern get a top tier 6 in the winter, then you could easily put them up in the top 2 for Champions League favorites. Like, yes. No question about it. Just 1-6. Because I thought defensively they were solid for most of the game. I thought Mazraoui did a really good job with Zaha.
Zaha didn't have a sniff.
Bro, I even asked my friend when Zaha came up. When I saw Zaha in the second half, I'm like, yo, he got something on? I didn't think he started. I'm being genuine. I did not think he started. He did not get a sniff of the ball. Upamecano, Kim and Jay, quality always. Yeah, especially Kim and Jay. Even though the last goal, the goal like in the stoppage time, a little sus, but Combo beat him in a foot race. But it's okay.
That was a good finish by Bakambu.
That was a really good finish. Alphonso Davies was all right. I thought Kimmich was good. I thought Sané was again excellent. In transition, he's been cooking this year. He's been amazing. Coman a little frustrating on the ball, but is what it is. He's not like the most. That happens with Coman. Musiala was good. Harry Kane, like you said, bro, like this dude just quality. Like, he's obviously, for me, he's the best striker on the planet. Like, him and Haaland, like in terms of like just. They're most just different strikers, though. That's the thing. That's what makes him really good. Yeah, he's the most complete striker. Like he like his ability just to like play the different roles and like at times it was him at left back yesterday. Like his ability to just drop deep and involve himself in the play, which he needs to because Bayern don't have a midfield. So that once they just get a partner next to Kimmich, I just think they're going to be such a good team. In my opinion, I think Kane could do a better job at left DM than Goretzka can. I mean, to be fair, Goretzka had some decent moments yesterday, but against like the top tier teams, I just don't see it. Like against Man City. There's too many limitations with them. Like they need just another deep, and then their depth is just shot. That's the issue with Bayern. It's just their depth. Yeah, and that could be the issue. But Matisse Tell did excellent when he came on. Nah, he's a super sub. That assist for the second goal was amazing. He nutmegged the player, and then it was an easy tap in for Kane. Easy tap in, yeah. Beautiful play. But everybody, let me know your thoughts. Who's going to – obviously, Bayern have already won the group, which is crazy. They've already won the group, and they got 2 match days to go. Who's going to finish second? You let me know in the chat. You let me know in the comments down below. For me, I still think it's going to be Galatasaray, but it could be coming down to that final match day between FC Copenhagen and Galatasaray, and it is in Copenhagen, that game. So I think it's all going to come down to that. That's why it was so critical for – after Copenhagen to win, because if they didn't win that game, then they would have had to get some result in Munich. But now the dynamics of this group completely changed, and now all United fans
You have scored 9 goals but have conceded 11. That is shocking, man. That is shocking. Just shows how bad defensively you guys have been. But Griggs, the pain is over, buddy. The pain is over. The stream is over. It's been a great stream, guys. Remember to hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Griggs, where can the people find you on this beautiful planet?
Yeah, so on Twitter, at Michael_Griggs26. I'm active on there. If you don't even have to follow me for football. I talk a lot of basketball because that's the best sport in the world right now. I promise you, it is not this football they talk about, this soccer they talk about.
No, that is still football.
No, it's basketball, bro. Nah, bro, it's all about basketball. Wembanyama debut at MSG, hype, easy win. But you can follow me on there for that, and then on YouTube, Griggs Talks, where I talk all things sports, basketball, football, NFL. I'll probably start doing that soon as well because I need to find other sports that are not football to talk about. I might even get into cricket soon, bro. This cricket World Cup they be talking about on my timeline. That might be interesting, bro. This Maxwell dude that they talk about, I don't even know what his name is, but that's what I gotta start finding, bro.
God damn, United have done this so much to their fans that they're questioning following the support. See, this is why Griggs. This is why I always say I'm a football fan first and then a Liverpool fan because then I can enjoy the beautiful game.
Bro, I'm on loan. I'm an Atletico Madrid fan now, bro. I promise you, bro. I'm learning the chants and everything.
I think you just love Griezmann so much, which is
I do love. That's why I'm gonna go to a club that that manager is appreciated. Their players give all the effort in the world. Mentality strong players. Yeah, Glenn Maxwell, bro. I saw the guy on my timeline yesterday. They're acting like he's like the best athlete of all time. The way they were talking about him, bro. I don't know who he is either, bro. Cricket hype, anyway. But
by the way, it's Eagles and the Ravens. That's a Super Bowl pick from me.
Eagles win the Super Bowl. You're gonna. I can't do this, bro. Sports causing me so much misery, man. Oh my god. Bro.
By the way, guys, Griggs is a New York Giants fan, and I'm a Chicago Bears fan. So we're just both
Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. Let's do it, man. 2012 rematch.
That would be hype. That would be hype. But everybody, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Remember to hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all later, probably later this weekend for a live stream. Just keep an eye on all the shorts and pre-recorded videos because it's time for the Conference League. Adios.